text from Wednesday.
Yeah.
We don't say Wednesday, we say Wednesday.
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 Oh, Wednesday.
As a parent, is it wrong to admit when you're wrong? Can you humble yourself to say, I'm sorry? I'm sorry.
I'm having this, I've been having a lot of, I don't know, a lot of my teens who are now adults in college now, um, they're now calling now asking, how do you handle a parent when you're trying to now tell them how they have offended you now that you're an adult? And this particular individual, she called me. She's been going through a rabbit hole of depression because she grew up here in Georgia, and her mom just pretty much just didn't want to do anything with her. So she moves to Texas to live with her sister. And while she's living with her sister, her dad was like, they were like this. And then all of a sudden, because she decided to make a grown up decision for herself, her dad cuts her off. So now she has a mother that she cannot communicate with because her mom cut her off. And now her now dad, who is African, has cut her off. And he's like super religious. So like she's far away from the religion. So that's what caused the separation. And so now she's okay with not having, she's building that relationship with her dad back, but she's now that she's out on her own, she's having this conversation like, man, I'm 23 and there were things that my mom did to me at 16 that I'm still going to counseling for. And the counselor was like, yeah, you probably need to have a conversation. But she's like, every time I bring up how I feel, the mama says, you can't tell me how you feel because you're not a parent. So she negates how the girl is feeling because she's the mama and she's the daughter. But your daughter's in counseling because of you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have that conversation. So she asked me Wednesday, she said, man, why does my mom feel like it's so wrong for her to say I'm sorry and that she really hurt me? Why does she feel like because I'm the mama, I don't have to apologize to you? And so that's what brought up the question for me as a parent. Is it wrong for you to admit when you're wrong? Can you gird your loins? Can you literally say, I effed up and I need to fix this?
Yeah.
Or are you one of those parents who literally are just like, I don't owe you nothing? You lucky.
Yeah. That's a good one. Man.
So yeah, man, she messed me up with that one, bro. Because I mean, as a dad, I find myself, and I think it bothered me because sometimes I catch myself feeling like I don't gotta apologize to my kids. Like I said that for a reason. I'm not apologizing for what I said. But to her point, 23, her mom did that to her at 16. So you're talking about, I don't wait years upon years with this feeling of already rejection. And then now all I want you to do is just hear me out and say, this is affecting me. And you're telling me I'm expressing all of this and you still don't see where you're wrong at what point, my brother, at what point do you put away how you feel as an adult and really hear your child?
Ooh, I think you have to learn in your different phases of raising children where you stand and how you shape them.
Mm.
and how like you're modeling for them. So
Right.
one, I believe that my son is 6, and I apologize to him. I have to, because like I think go back to our last week conversation about when I'm angry and I address him directly, I say things out of my anger rather than out of addressing the situation. And
Mm.
so realizing one that I need to apologize when I mess up, because children that aren't apologized to grow up not learning how to apologize. They're not do it. So I gotta model that for them.
Hey, say that one more time, sir.
Children that aren't
Children that aren't
apologized to
apologized to
grow
grow
up not knowing how to
I
apologize.
know how to apologize. Wow.
Because I might instruct you on what to say, but I didn't model it in our life. And so instructions don't mean anything without application. So I apologize to my 6-year-old for when I might say something that's out of pocket because of the fact that I need to say this first. I'm not a gentle parent.
Mm-hmm.
Gentle parenting is for gentle kids, and I got thugs. I ain't like my 2-year-old is about it. So I ain't no gentle parent, but I am a parent that sees the wisdom in breaking a generational cycle of because I said so, and I get to say
Yep.
that because I'm a parent, because I realize
Yep.
that my words and my mentality shape their mind. And so because I wear the crown or the hat of because I said so for them, this is my crown because I said so for him. And it is like it is. Go to your room if you don't like it. My way or the highway. And so what that does is now that he becomes a parent, it goes on his head. And what I have to do now is just kind of watch my words, watch my anger, watch my responses, but also apologize. But I think another big thing is when a child like graduates from high school, your hat and your role in their life transitions. We do this when our high school kids graduate and our graduation dinners. We bring a parent and a child that has graduated before, talk about that transition of relationship. Because as a parent, you transition
Mm.
from CEO to consultant. You transition from the head of their life to you
Now,
make all the decisions. I can beat you. Nah, you ain't going. Nah, you ain't winning. Nah, you ain't doing this. So now you need to be in a place where you have earned and you have capital built up that you've earned the right for them to want to come and consult with you. And so
mm.
if you have not apologized and made a model of apology to them, they don't want to listen to you.
Yep.
And so for like now we have adults in counseling because they were scarred or traumatized as children. And you like you for healthy boundaries, it's hard because you got to consider whether I want to deal with my parent
Mm.
because now it's your option. I love you, but going around you, if going around you is gonna hurt me, I I, I keep my health. I got to protect my peace,
Yep.
uh, and so it is a necessity to apologize to your children. Now, there's a difference between apologizing to your children when you wrong and when their feelings are hurt because you've corrected them. And I'm two different things.
Oh yeah. Now I'm not going to apologize if your feelings just got hurt because I told you the truth. No,
Uh,
I'm not apologizing that.
uh,
But to your point from our last conversation, um, you said most parents deal with their children out of their emotions. So if I'm angry and I say something that I know is going to hurt you and I still say it, now that's on you. As a parent, if you tell that individual something that you know is going to crush them,
mm,
and they have told you on multiple occasions that that offended them, at some point, you got to look within yourself and say, maybe I did. Because now you're allowing that child to grow up and fester this anger towards you that's going to cause this separation where they don't want to deal with you anymore. they're going to start. Then I watched her transition from calling her mom to her first name.
Mm.
Because now I can't trust you as the title of a mama because you haven't given me mama vibes. You haven't given me mama responses. You've been giving me Karen responses.
Mm.
So now I can't even look at you as mom because you don't comfort me. You don't shield me. You haven't protected me. You haven't kept me. You've always abandoned me. And now you want me to respect you. And I've been telling you, mama, you hurt me when you said XYZ. I didn't do anything wrong. You said that out of anger because you knew it would hurt me.
Mm.
And of course, it had something to do with her dad. He's like, I'm loving my dad. I can't help that y'all not together no more. So again, at some point, where do you say, you know, I gotta stop this? Throwing this discourse because you rather be with your daddy and not be with me, and me say, you know what, maybe I did some things in your life that was not an example of a mother. Maybe I said some things that caused you to view me differently, and I do apologize. And it's okay to say that. I just don't understand why parents feel like they cannot do that. I
Mm.
mean, this is a true story. Me and my mom, man, we were the same way, man. My mama did some things that really hurt me as a young child, right? And then I turned around and I ended up starting to love her because I saw how my dad was treating her. That that hurt me so bad, man. Watching my dad hurt my mom the way she did. And so for years I had this thought in my heart, like, dang, mama, why you just didn't leave him?
Mm.
Why you just stay there? Like I could not understand that. So I started to get bothered that my mama was trying to stay in this relationship and my dad was literally verbally abusing, verbally cheating on her, physically cheating on her in the presence of all of his kids. And you wanted me to respect you as my father, and you wanted me to respect you as my mama, and y'all was doing this. Bro, I remember I was 29 and I finally let my mama have it at 29. And she looked me in my face, bro, and said, I don't feel like I need to apologize because you don't know what I sacrificed. How can you say that to me as a 29-year-old newlywed man with a daughter at this point? That you didn't care about my feelings and how it offended me, how it hurt me, how it traumatized me about the things that you said and the things that you did. And you're telling me you don't deserve to give me an apology. And I'm telling you it affected me. My dad turns around and says, he jumps in my face because I'm like, man, this is some BS. Like, how can y'all not? And my dad turned around and said the same thing. And he said, boy, we don't owe you nothing. At 29 years old, not a child, not a kid, got my own family, and I'm telling y'all how this is affecting me. And neither one of y'all are actually saying, you know what, I apologize for that. I'm 37, and my parents just apologized to me 2 years ago.
Mm. Mm.
Now, tell me, how do I'm supposed to? So it goes back to, again, our conversation. I'm so hard on my kids now because of that. I treat my kids a certain way because of that. I'm trying to break those generational responses, but I'm just so into this. I feel like I don't have to. because that's all I've been told.
Mm.
That's all I've been told is you don't have to, you ain't gotta apologize. I mean, you mean what you say. Don't make these kids feel like you gotta apologize for everything you do. But in some cases, I am doing some things that I need to apologize for. But it takes so much out of me to apologize
Yeah,
to my kids
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I know how it affected me. So it's just like, even it what that's crazy. Even though I know it affected me, I still find it hard to do
Gotcha. Dude, that's the difference between pride and humility.
it.
And the part that is taking out of you is because humility is always low. And when it comes to your kids, because they're younger, sometimes our mentality is they're young. I have to take myself down. No, you're really building yourself up because of the fact that it takes a lot to go low and say, I apologize. Um, because apology not just acknowledges I did something wrong, I did something wrong to someone, and I must correct course.
Mm.
And I think that's our problem with people because people are stuck on apologies of just saying I'm sorry and not changing your behavior. And that's where relationships go wrong. Because
Yeah.
I can walk down the road and I can step on your foot. I did it when I was going this way to the bathroom. Now I'm coming back. No, I need to change the way my feet are turned and watch where I'm stepping this time so I won't step on your foot again. That my apology is not just me acknowledging I did something wrong, but acknowledging that I need to change. Um, and it's the same thing that gets us stuck with Jesus and repentance, because repentance isn't just saying, Lord, I'm sorry. I did something wrong and I need your forgiveness. Lord, I'm sorry. I did something wrong. I need your forgiveness and I need to change. Those are the things that I need to change. Part is what get us stuck. It gets us
That's
stuck
good.
because of the fact that we're in the place of like I know what I'm doing, but sometimes we get in the moment and we get rushed and we get in some kind of emotion. And the word I'm learning in my workplace is emotional intelligence. We talk about
Mhm.
our IQ, our intellectual quotient, but our emotional quotient, I got that from TD Jakes. Our emotional quotient is low because we don't know how to, when we get in our feelings, to control our mouth, control our tongue and what we say. And so our kids get it, our wives get it. Uh, Anybody that like our bosses ain't gonna get it, but everybody that we feel like we can dump on at that moment that we have in some way, in some space in our mind, lowered them or even equaled them to us, they'll get it. They'll get it. But it takes humility to go around and say, I did that wrong. I did that wrong. Um, and it's in those moments where you really understand the value of what the place that we should be in.
Mm.
Like apologies should be normal.
It
They
should
should
be.
they should be a reflex. They should be like it should be like just like that instance when somebody cuss in church or cuss around the grandmama that was born by the river in a little tent.
Yeah,
Uh
for sure.
like like it should be like it I'm sorry. Please
But
forgive me.
but why is it so hard to apologize? I know you talked about, people, how people are raised. If they don't hear it, then it's hard for them to do it. But like, how do you get past how you've been raised to say this is right? It's right for me to apologize,
Yeah.
regardless of what you've been. Because a lot of people can. I got homeboys who hold on to that. They're not emotional. Man, this is just how I am, and it is what it is. But I'm like, bruh, at some point you gotta come out of what you saw and how you was raised to say this is the right thing to do. You can't preach to me about Jesus and preach to me about what the word of God says. And nigga, you can't even open your mouth to say I'm sorry
Yeah.
when you messed up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then watch this. But in reverse, we'll have a whole attitude, will stop following you, won't call you no more, don't want to be your friend no more if you offend them
Yeah.
and don't say you sorry.
Dude,
Help me to understand that, bro.
you can't understand it and you won't understand it, but the way you come out of it is a decision. It's a decision. All of our decisions that we make for life change are not one-time decisions. They're everyday decisions. Whether you choose Jesus, like I chose him on the altar or at that moment in my life, but I wake up every day and choose him. And all my like in every other decision, because I chose Jesus, I got to make this decision go that way, and he got to line up this way. And so the same way with humility and like living in apologies or living where you want to be forgiven is the fact that I got to make a decision, and I have to live in a moment where my words and my reactions aren't impulsive. But I also have to live in the plot that if I do get impulsive, that I'm just as quick to turn around. And I think those are the moments like it kills us. Like sometimes we lead with right intentions. Like we start off with right intentions, and our right intentions wind up mess up. Go back, David, the Ark of the Covenant. David, the Ark of the Covenant, he had right intentions to bring the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem. He put it on the cart. It wasn't supposed to be on the cart. Uzzah died. David got mad. He had right intentions.
Yep.
But he did it the wrong way.
Yep.
And he had to go back and correct. And he wasn't able to bring the Ark of the Covenant until he was able to correct. Really, he got mad. Bro got mad and left the Ark of the Covenant somewhere else. And then was able to go back and get it after he realized he was wrong.
Yep.
The problem is it takes us too long to look at ourselves,
recognize that
and say, I'm wrong. Like I'm messed up. I'm gonna tell you, dude. I'm gonna tell you, when I first started preaching, my struggle was that I could preach and I could put a sermon together and make people hoop and holler because I was preaching the stuff that I wasn't doing wrong. But I wasn't talking about the stuff I could do. When the Lord showed me, I never forget his word. When God told me, Calvin, that you should use the Bible not as a microscope for other people's life, but a mirror for your own, changed my whole view of ministry. And so we're really good at using wrongs against other people.
That's good, bro.
Because I can look at the cell and I can look at your atoms and see, okay, this is wrong and this is moving and this is growing in your life. But I can't pick up the mirror for my own life and see, oh yeah, bro. You don't have any self-control. Oh yeah, man. You quick to talk. Oh yeah, man, you boast. Oh yeah, man. You got a little pride. You can't apologize. Oh yeah, man. You're dogmatic or you condescend on people. Oh yeah, man. Like you, and like some of us have grown up. I'm telling you, it's indoctrinated in us to I just had the word to talk down on people so quickly that we don't realize it. Your friends, how your little business going? Little business. Like we did. It's just no. He is like, how's your business? How is it going? And we will talk down on the so fast, and we don't realize it because it's the way we're born. But when you make a decision, in that decision making process should be some kind of devotion. Like every day, what am I going to do to make sure I don't do it anymore? Like how do I stop? How do I stop choosing to be just like my mama, even though I hated what she did to me? I hated what my dad did.
So how do you? And this is something that I'm just man. How do you look at a situation and say this is not an offense, but this here is? Because everything can't be an offense.
Okay.
Everything can't be an offense. But it's so much easier to say and identify and label every time that you get hurt that it's an offense.
Mm.
I think most people rely on the offense because it's comfortable and they can stay angry rather than saying, you know what, this is something minute I can really apologize for, or I can really just say, you know what, it is. I turned it over to the Lord. I've expressed to you that it offended me or it hurt me. So you know what? I'm okay. God bless you and go your way. No, we still hold on to that offense. We still hold on to that hurt, and we're waiting for them to apologize. And our life is never going to change until that person or that individual says, I am sorry. But then when they do say, I'm sorry, what do we do, Cal? You didn't mean that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You've been waiting 20 years for an apology, and they finally apologized. And because it wasn't in the right setting, it wasn't in the right way, it wasn't said with what you thought you envisioned in your head, like y'all was going to sit down, hug, and cry with tissue and all the above. And you realize with that stank face and say, this is what an apology looks like,
That I yell about that moment.
We can't receive it.
Yeah.
So now we die frustrated and angry, or we're spiritually dead because we're like, man, I can hear your word, but I'm still thinking about how this person offended me. Now, every time somebody does something else, now I'm ripping off the same bandage. I'm still keep on doing this. And he's like, bro, you didn't let go of that first offense. So now everything that somebody else does, it may not be the same, but you're always directed to that same thing.
Bro, you just said something that just woke something up in me. People that don't know how to apologize are the very people that's struggling with unforgiveness.
Woo!
Like when we wait for people to apologize for years in order to forgive them, like that puts us, like that's a small-minded person. Like it helped me when I realized that I have to forgive people that have never apologized.
Yes.
Not because they deserved it, but because I need it. Yes. I never forget, it stuck with me since I was a kid. Preacher said this, that unforgiveness and holding a grudge is like you drinking a poison and expecting somebody else to die.
Somebody else to die. Yep.
And yep. It's we get caught up in those moments of I'm owed an apology and they owe me this and they owe no. I'm killing myself because I'm waiting on an apology. And every time I see you, my mood got to change. Every time I see you, whether I was having a good day, I give you the power because I ain't forgave you yet. Dude, I want to be like it's two stories came to my mind while you were talking. I want to be like Jesus and be able to say, forgive them. And like, it just kind of helps me. They don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
They don't know what they're doing. They're babies and fools. And you know, black folks say, God protect, he protect babies and fools. Lord, they're a baby or they're a fool. They don't know what they're doing. And like, and even sometimes they knew what they were doing, but they didn't know who they were doing it to. The other thing is, you asked the question about how do you get to that place of realizing whether it's an offense.
Yep.
Biblically, I love David. David, probably my favorite person in the whole Bible. Yep. You need you a friend, and I always miss the brother name of it. I think it was Jonathan. That went to David after he had Uriah killed, and told David this story about this rich man that stole this poor man's one sheep. And David got all upset. What all of us need is somebody that can hold us accountable. That I'm going to go to you and I can tell you and I'm going to intentionally come to you because I know you're not going to tell me what I want to hear. That if I'm right, you're going to tell me I'm right, but you're going to still try to keep me humble. And if I'm wrong, you're going to tell me, nah, dude, you weren't wrong. Like everybody needs that at least one person in life that's not going to kiss our butt. That's not going to blow smoke up, but that's not going to puff up our head, but like, nah, dude, you need to go apologize. Nah, that was wrong. I don't care. Go apologize. You started it. Go back all of us need that one person in our life, because without that person alone, we mess up.
Mm,
Alone, we're right. We justify. And if we can rationalize why we did a certain thing in our head and justify it in our head, we right and we good. But with that person of accountability, with that person say, nah, dude, you wrong. Go get your life together. Go, hey, dude, you wronged your wife. Go buy her some flowers and restore their relationship. Dude, you wronged your child. Go apologize and restore the relationship. Because I think we have made apologies with a connotation that make us lower than the other people. No, 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 no. It's not lowering the other person. It's making level of the relationship. Like I'm bringing them back up, bringing myself back up in the relationship. Like I'm restoring the level of relationship to where I'm sorry. When I wronged you, I stepped down. And we got to realize that we stepped down. Like, I think we sometimes get so caught up in our own images and egos and the imposter syndromes that we carry around uh, that we don't realize that our boo-boo stink.
mm-hmm,
We think
mm-hmm,
like when we leave the bathroom that it smells like linen fresh laundry detergent, and it don't.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It don't. And in those moments, I just keep these people keep coming to my head. Paul come to my mind when he said God kept that thorn in his flesh so he wouldn't think too much of himself.
Yep.
That we don't realize that I'm not always right. I got this joke with my wife, and sometimes when I'm right, and she actually said, "Yeah, you're right." I'm like, "Yeah, I know I'm right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right." Some of us actually believe it. That when we were wrong, I had a band director in college that he told me, "Doc, I'm never wrong." I'm like, "Brother, you wrong." But sometimes, even if a person is wrong, we can be wrong in the way we bring them the truth,
Facts.
because we think we hold the way we hold the truth. It makes us somebody. No, no, no. That's pride.
Bruh, you just
Humility says,
watch this. Matthew 18:15. I just looked down with this. It says, if your brother sins against you, go and show him his fault just between the two of you. Now, let's just break that down. When we go and tell that person, there is a posture that you need to be in order for him or her to receive the fault.
huh?
But our problem is when we have that opportunity, we let it all hang out, expecting for that person to say, you're right. I'm so sorry for what I did to you. But what does that person do? We done had a whole funky attitude going in there telling that person how they is. And then we expect them to go and apologize. And matter of fact, I'll call you, Calvin, right after I get out of the meeting with that individual and say, bruh, I pulled my heart out. And
You
this
hear
man
me?
looked at me, shook my hand and say, all right, you have a good day. And never once apologized. Well, how did you deliver it? Where was your heart?
That's it. That's it. That's it. The heart. That's it.
You can't expect somebody to receive something and your heart ain't right, bro. I'm sorry. Your heart, even when they offended you, your heart got to be right in going to that person. And to go back to the original question, I have to ask, like, where was your heart
Hmm.
when you told your mom? Because if you want, as a parent, if you not even at 37, I still got to go to my parents properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't just be telling my mama, oh, I can't do that. My heart got to be right. Bro, I love what you said, man. I think it is a heart's posture when we deal with the things and the matters that concern our heart. If you allow that unforgiveness to penetrate your heart and you never ask God to help you and you forgive from your heart, we talk a lot of stuff out of here, but if it ain't in your heart,
Yes, sir.
I can. It's almost like you say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your shoe like that," but that wasn't from your heart. You just said it because you didn't want to get slapped. You just said that because you didn't want to get shot. You just said that because you saw how he was looking when he looked
Yeah.
at you when you stepped on his foot. No, I'm saying, how can you say, look, bro, from the bottom of my heart, for real, bro, I ain't mean to do you like that, my guy. That see, if I show him his fault from a posture where my heart is pure, and I know I'm going in there with my only desire, bro. Even if, watch this, even if you don't receive my apology, or if you even don't even say I'm sorry, I am okay because I did my part.
That's it.
Whatever you do after this, God is going to hold you accountable for your lack of response.
Dude, and I'm gonna tell you that scripture, like, like breaking it down, show him his fault, not how I feel.
Mm.
And
Remove your
I
feelings
think
out the way.
we
Yeah.
we dilute and corrupt the truth, or do we corrupt the moments when we put our feelings in it? This is what you did that was wrong. David's friend was able to tell him, this is what you did that was wrong, by showing him somebody else's story. Not how, when I saw what you did, how I felt. No, bro. This is what you do wrong. And what's wrong right now is, in this generation, in 2023, we're walking around with people telling my truth. My truth is, no, baby, that was your experience. The truth won't change.
Woo!
The truth is absolute everywhere you go. The truth, and like, it's, you have the truth and you have your reality, your experience, the things that happen to you. There are some things that happen to you, and from your point of view, that from my point of view look differently, but that doesn't change the fact that you saw it.
Yeah.
One of them, Stanley, said this, that perception without truth is reality. And so for the fact that you saw it from your way, it became your reality. But it was absent of the truth. And
Yeah.
so the problem is that when we start to add our feelings into the recipe of how we go to people, we pollute what's supposed to go to them. Hey, in grace, listen, back there, you ran the red light. Back there, you stepped on my foot. And give that person an opportunity. But when we go with our feelings, you talked about, dude, it was so important for you to say it's our posture. It's our heart's posture. Because the way we say and the way we go about presenting it, and even our feelings, our motives, our posture, it presents our motives behind going to that person.
Yep.
And so our posture should always be a place of humility, of in front of God on our knees, rather than standing on the step stool. Like, we don't need to be lifted up. No, we need to go low.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the way that they'll receive it. Hey, that's the way. Like, I always try to present stuff in a way like, how would I want this said to me in their shoes? And then after I do that, realizing that I got feelings about it, but it ain't about me in this moment.
Yeah.
That them coming to figure out their moment is going to outlive me. There are some people that need to apologize to people, that once they realize they were wrong in this situation, they'll realize, well, they had 33 breakups in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wronged one person the same way they wronged 32 other people.
Yep.
But if we go to them wrong, we just continue the cycle. Like, we're supposed to take the good news, but we just taking them something they didn't hear before the same way they didn't hear it.
Yep.
Look, you're wrong in the way you're doing it. And our
Yep.
posture, our approach, the way we do things, especially as parents. You talk the original question about the child and their parent, an adult child, like the approach. Now that my child is an adult, that I don't control every decision, I need to make them want to listen to what I say.
Yep.
listen to what they're telling me, see what's going on, deal with my feelings, but then approach them in a way of, hey, I noticed this.
Yep.
Have you considered this?
Yes.
Because I'm a consultant. Help them digest every part of it and then present it to them. Like,
Yep.
and even as for me, a parent of a child, like presenting my child with options,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
for them to do it their
This
way.
is it. Yep.
So here we go. Here are the options. This is how it looks. You want so and so and so and so, but
Mm-hmm.
you have a dirty room. Now I want to give you. Oh, that's the big part. I want to
I
give you.
wanna.
I want you to have this
Yep.
because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But are you in the position to get that with a dirty room?
Mm.
Now, what that
Mm.
takes is that takes margin in our mind and in our life.
Yep.
So that in those moments, like I was talking to a parent just yesterday and saying, you have to be healthy enough to deal with your own children.
Yep.
You got to be mentally healthy enough and have enough margin and space in your mind that when I'm talking to my children, I'm not already tapped out. Because if you tapped out, your children will get the worst of you. And every
Yep.
relationship in your life is going to be in chaos because you didn't create margin.
Yep.
And so dealing with our kids will be hell until we create their margin.
Mm.
Learning to apologize to people, restoring relationships in our lives will be hell until we learn how to come. Like, what's my posture? If I fix my posture, everything. Fixing your posture is prioritizing.
Yep.
Prioritizing is what we were talking about in Matthew 6:33 of seeking ye first. It's prioritize, seek ye first. Kingdom of God and all his righteousness, then everything else will be added. Don't worry about what you're gonna eat, where you're gonna stay, what you're gonna wear. Seek God first. So my posture is seeking God. Ah, that sounds like Proverbs 3. In all
And if
thy
you
ways
let your
acknowledge
clothes
him.
keep you from
Mm-hmm.
God,
He will direct
you
your
will make
path.
it.
So in both of those scriptures, whether I'm in Matthew or Proverbs, in both of them scriptures, God is the way that I need to go. How would WWJD, them little braces, them little ugly braces we wore back in the 90s and early
Mm-hmm.
2000s are the model of how we should present and approach everyday life. How would Jesus approach this moment? Jesus was not soft by any means. Jesus
Not at all.
was not backing down. He was no coward.
Savage.
Listen, he was no coward. He wasn't none of that. But he wasn't going around picking fights either.
Correct.
He approached
Correct.
people with directness.
Yep.
Jesus didn't do one of those. I go back to Jesus in the house and the woman washing his feet with her hair, and the Pharisees back there thinking in his mind, if he knew
Why?
who she was,
Yeah.
Jesus heard his thoughts,
Sure did.
and Jesus responded, but he didn't say, "I don't know who need to hear this." And what we are is the generation of I don't know who need to hear this. Jesus turned around and told the man, I hear your thoughts. He ain't telling that, but he started talking directly to his thoughts, and he started relating to him in logic. Bro, I came to your house. You ain't greet me. He
You didn't
started
give you
talking
didn't
to the
offer me
man.
nothing to wash my feet.
Right.
And
And
here's
my
this
feet.
woman here.
And I'm gonna tell you, we mess up the Bible when we apply Bible context to our context, and we think if Jesus' feet is on the floor under the table, like we are. No, the table was on the floor. So it means Jesus sitting on a pillow with his feet next to the table.
Right.
So his nasty, dusty feet, because he had on them Air Moses's, so
26.
he had dusty feet sitting next to the table,
Right.
and
And the
he came
the
to the man house.
house owner didn't even say, here, man, here's some water.
I
Go ahead and wash my
invited you to my house to come eat, and I ain't offer you nothing. But I'm mad at the woman. I'm talking about the woman and what she's done, but I ain't looking at the fact that she's doing something I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm.
Jesus was direct. He was no coward. He wasn't shady. He wasn't petty, but he responded to people in the approach that they needed. He gave people what they needed. And I think all of our approaches, if we really Christians, and that's the big question, that Jesus's model for living should be our filter for life. That all of our decisions should be filtered through what Jesus did. You can fit all of the Bible and the biblical context through Jesus's life and say, what would he do? How would he respond to the boss? How would he talk to his children? How would God want me? Like, and then watch how he responds to us.
Yeah.
Look at the model of the shepherd. Look at the model of the woman that lost this. Look at the model of the prodigal son and his father. Look at all those things, and then base your responses to your children and the people in your life based on those things.
So good, son.
And I think as a parent, us slowing down. I think there are some socioeconomic reasons that mess us up. But we use those as excuses.
Yep. Hence the reason why we can't get in the right posture, because we're using those as excuses.
Yeah. Like
I can't get in the posture because you still trying to figure out how to get it right. So you use that as an excuse.
Listen,
I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Look, being poor don't have no weighing on you.
They got nothing to do with how you responded to me.
Come on, EBT. I'm trying to make ends meet, bro. You can still be polite. You can still be polite.
They ain't got nothing. You had to cuss me out because you mad because your EBT card didn't work. You just cussed me out. All I said was, how can I help you? And you don't flipped out because your pen, you put in the wrong pen.
Yeah.
Because you borrowed the EBT card from your cousin and you forgot the pen number.
Yeah.
So now she embarrassing you, talking about it don't work, and now you mad at me. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel so sorry for the people. I feel so sorry for the people who work and they got to deal with these type of folks who don't have a lick of apology in their boat. I'm going to just talk to you any kind of way because that's just how I am. Bro, if I hear that one more time, you want me to accept you for who you are, and it's rude as it's rude as heck. And you telling me I'm just supposed to just be okay with. Yeah. That's just how you are. Come on, bro.
Yeah. That is.
At some point, you got to posture yourself. You got to come to your senses and say, you know what? I ain't in the right place. The prodigal son didn't go home until he came to his senses. We got to come to our senses as parents to say, I need to go back to my child and apologize for what you said. How you said it. You may not apologize for what you said because it might have been fact. How you said it. We're more, I think it's, honestly, if it was up to me, I think it would be more of how people say things than what they say. Yeah. Because you can be spot on with something and it don't offend me. But you can take that same word and add a cuss word, add an attitude, add a
wrong
get
place,
out of my
wrong
face.
time. Wrong. Look, don't you come at me over the pulpit. Call my name. Oh, don't do that. If you
that right, Cal.
My shepherd, you my shepherd, you got my best interests at heart. Take me in the office. Rebuke me behind closed doors. If I ain't mess up in front of everybody, don't you call me. Like, do it in love. I'm telling you, you're right.
Oh, sir, now you about to go into a whole nother topic, bro. Because, bro, that right there be burning me. How do you take my private conversation and make it public for your domain? For your satisfaction of a message.
Hmm.
And then I gotta sit here knowing you talking about me and everybody, amen. You talking good, Pastor. Whole time, I just feel the daggers. Yeah, bro. Ooh, we're gonna have to talk about that one. Because that one,
They're gonna do it.
oh,
That's
that
a different
one.
episode. I
Mm,
our positive approach, bro. Our process, and that's and it's the same ideology that makes them do that. That makes a parent go do stuff out of turn.
mm,
It's the same thing. It's
mm.
pride. It's it's entitlement. It is
Yes.
it's those moments of you like you've already in some way justified this. That like you ain't God that determines how to make all things work for my good. And so you doing this, I might be developed from this, but that ain't what your intentions.
Mm,
Your intentions
mm.
was to make me look low and make a point out of me
Yes.
rather than lift me up.
And then won't have the urgency or even the heart, even your Christian duty to say, yeah, man, yeah, I could see how that could have turned out and it made you feel that way. But they won't do it.
Yeah.
Even when you know, bro, let's go play that YouTube. Right there at 15 minutes within your sermon, you mentioned that. Do you remember the conversation me and you just had Friday? You telling me that had no relationship to what you just said. Man, Doc, I was in a moment, man. I just preached it, man, and it just came out. It's and stop always tagging Holy Spirit into your foolishness, saying, "Man, woo, man, God, you speaking good right now."
No, dog, you and your flush. As the old preacher say, you and
You and you and your flush,
your
and it
flush.
need to be and it need to be flushed out.
You listen. You go
And
fast
it's
and flush your flesh.
right now before Friday.
You hear me? Go detox of them demons. You hear me? But
Man,
it's a whole posture. It's a whole
yeah.
posture. I pulled up Proverbs 15 just a second ago because it deals with posture. A gentle answer turns away wrath,
Right, right.
but a harsh word stirs up anger.
Yes.
It's approach. I can tell you, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I can say, no, we ain't doing it.
I would get offended by that.
I'm telling you, like I'm like, cause you like, it's both of them the same thing, but different approaches. And I think most parents are exposed to one approach. It's exposed to one approach. But what you got to do is you got to expose yourself to better. Like look to better. Realize when you mess up. And like, dude, I'm in some heavy course correcting with my 6-year-old.
Mm.
Like that I like that he feels that punishment and correction is necessary, and that he feels the love about it.
Mm-hmm.
That he don't feel like, okay, this is hate. But in that same moment, he knows that when I'm correcting him, I'm not condescending him.
Mm.
Like your mistake doesn't ruin who you are.
Mm.
Like you messed up, but you're not a failure. You're not a mess up.
Yeah.
You just had a
Yeah.
moment. Let me teach you through it. And so what that does is that allows him to see a pattern in my approach to him, and that when he's 20, 23, he'll still be coming, hey, Dad, this is going on. What do you think about this? How should I approach this? And not only will he ask me, because sometimes they get the questions, but they get it out of, I'm patronizing you because I know that you're wrong. I'm kissing the ring. I'm stroking your ego. But he'll come to me and be able to do it because he actually wants to hear what I have to say. Because not only have my answers not steered him wrong, my answers haven't stirred up anger.
Mm. That's good, sir.
And so that's the model for parenting. That my prayer as a parent is I don't want my kids to have to go to counseling because of the way I parented them.
Correct.
In that same notion, I'm also praying that my children don't have to go to counseling because of the way they saw the way I parented them. Them two different things. I want my child to have a righteous perspective. I need them to be able to see not just from their side. And so that's why it takes talking it out. When your child makes a mistake, talk it out. Not to death, but talk it out. Okay, you did this. How did this bad decision affect those around you?
Yeah.
Now, do you see how that made so-and-so upset? Now, do you see why you have a bad color in your folder? Rather than, oh, you messed up. Do better tomorrow. Go to bed. I ain't learned nothing from that. I'm going to do better tomorrow. I'm going to get a better yellow. Like, like what I'm going to do better, I'm going to do better. Like, I'm going to do bad better. I'm going to be better at being bad. Like, what am I doing bad at? Like, I'm going to be a well-rested bad person tomorrow.
This fool said, am I going to get a better color yellow?
Like, what am I doing better on? So, like, I think in our approach, and we, like, I really think, and I've said this before. I said this on my Facebook one day that we have to correct and give consequences to our children with the end goal in mind. Like when we're talking to them, like, what's our point? What is my point of correcting you right now? What do I want you to see? And make that line up, make the consequences line up with what I want you to see. If I want you to see that the way you treat others affect everything around you, I'm not going to treat you bad. That's stupid. That's counterproductive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to go restore this relationship. Come on. Go break up. I'm telling you, Andy Stanley did this with his kids. His kids mistreated the babysitter. And what he did was his wife did this, made them go break open their piggy banks, use their money to buy flowers for their babysitter and write letters, march them up to their babysitter job in the middle of the workday and take flowers, candies, and letters they broke with their own hand and bought with their own money.
Wow.
To restore relationship.
Yep.
We got to make sure that as parents, even when we're in the right, that we don't make our children feel like they're the wrong people. They made a wrong decision, not that they're wrong people.
You said that perfectly, bro, because I was literally about to ask you, how do we speak to the parent who has allowed years to go by and they have not restored what they originally rejected? What do you say to that parent now? Because we have smaller kids, so we have time to get it right. But for my mentee who is trying to rebuild the rejection, rebuild the connection back with her mom, what do you say? If I can give her an advice or I can give the mom the advice, what would that be?
The advice is make baby steps toward progress. The advice is start with the end in mind. What is my goal? Make sure they're on they're both on a journey going in the same direction. That it's not about making me right and you wrong. It's about making us reconcile.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest difference. The biggest thing is in apologizing or in coming back together in restoration, that it's not about you right or wrong. It's about we need to reconcile. And I think we get
Mm.
caught up in the semantics of I'm right, you wrong, or how you. At the end of the day, we need to reconcile. What do I have to put aside? What needs to change? What should I do? Because if because like in the wrong, there is a wrong decision and a wrong way to approach it. So if I approached it wrong, what should I do better? How can
Mm-hmm.
I consider your feelings? The best advice I got before I got married, I hadn't used it always, but it was probably the best advice I got before I got married. The idea behind this I've approached. He said, the guy said this at my bachelor party or my bachelor getting together because we ended up sitting eating some chicken wings. He said, Calvin, when you and your wife get to arguing, approach her with, will you forgive me rather than I'm sorry? Because that approach makes it more about the person that has been wronged than it does you.
Mm.
When you say, I'm sorry, you're looking for you're forgiven. When you say, will you forgive me, you're looking for restoration. And so for that parent that has allowed years to build up and has never gone back with a true apology and posture, start now in the place of, will you forgive me? I carry the burden and the load that I realize I have wronged you. I made the wrong decision. I stepped out. Will you forgive me? And what can I do to reconcile us? How can we be on the path of reconciliation? That leaves you at the mercy of the other person. Because sometimes I can accept your apology and still not allow you back in.
Mm-hmm.
I can, and it's okay. That's okay. Because I have to realize because sometimes I'm not healthy enough, I'm not healed enough, and so I might have to look at key counseling. I appreciate your genuine apology, but when you put yourself at the mercy of that other person, you have to realize that you don't control their response.
Mm. That's
I
good.
hear your apology, I feel it's genuine, but I'm not at the place where I'm ready to accept it. I'm not
So
at the
it's not about I'm sorry. And I
yeah
think that's the part to your point is if you we go in with the anticipation of a response of an apology rather than, hey man, I'm needing that option. Just will you forgive me?
yeah
Because I'd rather restore. Watch this. The restoration doesn't mean that I'm coming back to your space. I'm just restoring, or my hope is that the restoration that happens between you and I will now begin the process of healing. If you never say I'm sorry, I'm okay with that. I just want to restore
mm,
and begin the process.
mm,
I don't want you to get up on stage and say, you know what, I wronged you. We know that in private. I just want to start the process of healing. Because at the end of the day, healing, people left and they began the healing. A
yeah
lot of people that Jesus healed didn't heal immediately.
mm,
There was a process. Every step that the man that was blind, he was made a process from the time that Jesus spit to the time that he got to the pool. There was
yeah
a process. He
yeah
wasn't healed immediately. He wasn't healed immediately.
yeah
So why do we expect relationships to be healed immediately? Why do
mm,
we expect that process of forgiveness to happen immediately? No, it is a process.
yeah yeah. It's a process.
And now now my mind is starting to, to believe like why it makes sense why Jesus said just go and show.
Yeah Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to know if he was healed. Just show. Because it was an inward thing. Can you believe that I just did what I did?
Mm.
The believing.
Yeah, man.
That's why even when you accept Christ, it's about, it ain't, oh, I see a change. No, it's believing. Because it is a process. It's a day. You said it earlier. It is a daily process. But are you willing to take that process?
Yeah, man.
So, man,
Yeah,
that's good, man. Oh man, this was good today, sir.
yeah, man.
This was good, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, this was good. So, God, we thank you for this time. Lord, we thank you for every parent that is struggling to get in the right posture to receive or to say. Lord, even for those students and those children, those youth, those adults, Father, that are now struggling because of what happened to them as a child. And now they're trying to rebuild what was once lost, Father, for that child, for that individual, for that adult, for that person, God. I pray that they position their hearts, Lord, to one, hear from you. God, that they will move the anger and the strife and the pain. God, that when they do go present, God, it is a posture of you because you did it for them. God, I thank you right now, even for my own life, Father, the times that I expected an apology and my posture was wrong. I left talking about that person. I left calling someone else and being more angry because they didn't apologize right then. But God, I thank you that even now, thank you for the process of restoration. Thank you for the process of bringing not just us back, but God beginning the healing process together. Lord, I thank you so much. Thank you for the words of Calvin today, Father. And he was able to just minister real truth from your word. God, thank you for allowing us to have people in our life, God, to hold us accountable, to hold us to the accountability of the truth, God, not what we want to hear, not to stroke our ego, not to make us feel like we're greater than the individual, but God, to literally let us know that we need to humble ourselves and go and apologize. Go and say, I did wrong. Or to Calvin's point, just to ask the question, will you forgive me? God, for every person, God, that needs to ask that, Lord, posture their heart that it's the right position, the right posture, so it can come out right and so it can be received right. Thank you for this time in Jesus' name. This is good, bro.